You guys can hear this beep, right?
Yep.
So this beep is 3 to 4/10 of a second long, depending on the timer you have. Okay. Our goal when we perform this exercise, you start aimed on target, and you want to have the trigger press completed before that beep is complete. Okay?
Yep.
Now, you're looking for no movement in dry fire and being within that time limit. Okay? In live fire, we'd want to be under a 1/4 second per shot. What happens when you get those things? What can you do to make it more challenging? Without changing the drill.
Change your starting point.
Yep, change your starting point, that's one of them. So I can go from fully prepped to touching the face of the trigger without removing any slack, to actually like extending my finger to the edge of the trigger guard, to people who are more defensive oriented, finger on top of the frame. So you get used to doing it that way. Okay, what else can I do?
Is this without changing?
Without changing the drill. It's one shot on a beep.
Okay. You can still do one shot, but then as you pull the trigger, transition to another target.
That's kind of changing the drill.
Okay.
But kind of, right? So I'll give you one of them. I can press the trigger quicker. What else can I press the trigger? How else can I?
I was going to say twice, but that's changing the drill.
That is changing the drill. I can press it harder though.
Oh, no. Okay.
So harder, faster, add distance. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? So no, I know everybody says 2 shots, or they like, so I always say without changing the drill. So if I start dry fire here, aimed on target, as soon as the beep goes off, press the trigger, right? And I went a little bit left there because I need to add a little bit more finger in here. Okay. Notice how I'm not removing any slack. You guys see that? Even if I go a little bit further, I can go a little further here, touch the wall here. Be able to press the trigger as hard as you want to and not have the gun move. If you can do that here in training, what's going to happen when you're actually shooting for real? It's going to be better, right? Make sense? You guys want to put eyes and ears on? I feel so sinful having full capacity magazines in a free state. Okay.
Welcome to a free state.
I know, right? So I'm just going to aim at the middle of the target there. When the beep goes off, I'm going to press the trigger. All right, so I'm here. Okay, 0.18. 0.21. 0.22. 0.16. Can you be pretty accurate while pressing the trigger reasonably hard? Yeah. Right? Any questions on that? Let's line up and let's get started.